So you've opened up some fresh new holes in your wetsuit. And now it fills up with icy cold water every time you jump into the surf. This can happen quite a lot, especially if you like to surf reef breaks. And since most of us aren't made of money, we can't afford to buy a new wetsuit every time we tear it up. So I'm going to show you how anyone can patch up their wetsuit, and it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. First, pick up a wetsuit repair kit like this from your local surf shop. They have all the bits and pieces you need to completely repair your wetsuit. If you can't find a kit, then that's okay. You can also buy these components separately, and they're not too expensive. Most importantly, you'll need neoprene glue, which is also known as neoprene cement. You'll also need your iron-on patch, and this usually comes in 2 parts. A contact film used to prevent heat damage from your iron to your wetsuit, and the patch itself. The patch looks super thin, but don't worry, it'll definitely do the job. One side of the patch should be white, which is the gluing surface that activates with heat, and the other fabric side, which just looks like regular neoprene. It's very important you don't get these sides mixed up, or you're gonna make a very big mess. And lastly, you should get some kind of brush or stick to apply the glue with. You could also use your fingers if you're not too precious. Let's start by squeezing some blobs of glue into the biggest gaps of your wetsuit. Don't be stingy now, be generous and give it a good squeeze. Next, get your brush and start spreading out the glue along all the little holes. Try to get it in between and underneath all the contact surfaces of the gaps. Now, you might find your wetsuit absorbs heaps of your glue. But hey, don't stress. Just squeeze out a bunch more glue and spread that baby all over. Just don't get cocky like I do here. I thought it'd be cool to try a high altitude squeeze, but I missed horribly. That's what I get for trying to spice things up. In the end, you just want a nice wet looking seal of glue covering all the little holes in your wetsuit. After that comes the fun part, where you sit back for about 20 minutes to watch the glue slowly dry. Plan B is you go, "Hey mum, can I borrow your hairdryer?" Or you ask your sister to borrow hers, or you ask your wife or your girlfriend to borrow theirs. If you have your own hairdryer, okay, I won't judge, but sure, you could use that too. Pop the hairdryer on medium heat and fan settings, then gently caress the glue with air until it's dry to the touch. Next, you want to switch on your clothing iron and start preheating it so it's ready to use. Irons usually have a steam setting, so make sure yours is switched off because we want to keep the iron nice and dry for this next part. Set the iron aside and grab your neoprene patch. Line up with the patching area on your wetsuit and measure it out so it covers it completely with a bit of excess to spare. You want to add a bit of extra fabric to allow for some stretch. I like to leave about 5mm. Once you've measured it out, just cut it down to size. So there you have it. You should have a kind of symmetrical and straight patch cut out here. Go ahead and lay that on the patching area, and at this point it sure doesn't hurt to give yourself a bit of self-encouragement. Next, grab your heat film and put it on top of the patch. Get your iron, which should be nice and hot by now. Ouch, yes it sure is, don't do that. Press your iron onto the heat film and hold it there steady for about 8 to 10 seconds, or depending on what the instructions on the kit says. Afterwards, you might find some edges of the patch are still loose. That's okay, just put the heat film back on and press the iron again. You know it's ready for sure when you see the white glue melted to the edges of the patch. Yeah, more self-encouragement. And that's it, we're done. Now, a lot of high-end wetsuits will have these liquid seals of the seams. The question is, can you take a hot iron and iron patch on top of them? No, mon ami. You have to patch those holes slightly differently, or you're gonna melt those rubber or plasticky parts and make a big mess. So what you want to do with these kinds of holes is rub in some neoprene glue, dry out the glue, flip your wetsuit inside out. And trying to find the spot with the hole from the inside of the suit is a bit tricky to do, but have faith and you'll get it. Then patch your wetsuit from the inside. Patch it from the inside. And now you're all done. Your wetsuit is patched and ready to take to your next visit to your local reef. The more patches your wetsuit has, the cooler you will definitely look, so make sure you show them off. I hope you like this simple guide. If you want more, just let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.